If you're not seeing results with your lymphatic system's drainage ability and rebounding, I'm going to tell you the 5 most common mistakes that I see being taught online and what's likely preventing you from seeing those results. Because the matter of fact is, rebounding does work great to help support lymphatic drainage, but we got to do it properly. So if your goal is lymphatic drainage support, there are specific things that you're going to want to keep in mind. We're going to go through all of those. Now, why am I doing this video is because I cannot tell you the number of times people are like, oh, rebounding. I've tried it and it just doesn't work. There's no change in my swelling. There's no change in how I feel. There's no change in how I look. There's just no change. And I've been doing it for a month. Well, let's go through what is likely being missed and what you can make small tweaks to and see if that makes a big change. Now you're going to want to stay because the last one is the one that I see happen most often that causes and likely is contributing the most to why you're not seeing drainage results. So why rebounding works is because rebounding creates this rhythmic contraction within your body. Not to mention, it's also using gravitational forces. So when you push down and then come up, it's creating like a rhythm, an up and down rhythm, but it's also using gravity to help move the fluid through the vessels through the one-way valves. Now, this works fantastic because remember, our lymphatic system does not have a pump of its own. It relies on muscle contraction. And so we are actively contracting our muscles on the rebounder and using gravity to help get the fluid moving. That's why it works so great. But the first mistake that I see happen quite often is that people are going way too hard. They're ultimately jumping as if their life depends upon it. Now, what do I mean by that? Remember, our lymphatic system relies on this slow, rhythmic motion. I like to think of our lymphatic system like the ocean, like a wave. Okay? Not to say that waves can't be intense. We're not talking about those, okay? We're talking about those nice, slow, rolling waves that's just very relaxing to hear the sound of the wave crashing on the beach. That's what we're looking to create whenever we're doing lymphatic drainage. So when we are jumping intensely, like you are like giving her, it is like you're treating it like a HIIT workout, it is a cardiovascular workout, you're likely missing the mark as to what your body is going to be doing. Meaning, it's a great cardiovascular workout, don't get me wrong. There is research that shows that rebounding is and can be more effective than even going for like a run when it comes to cardiovascular system. But that is not the goal when it's lymphatic drainage. Having a slow, rhythmic bounce is going to be far more important than you like jumping as high as you can and pushing as hard down as you possibly can. You're just not going to get the same results. But if your goal is cardiovascular, then by all means, absolutely go that route. Mistake number 2 that I see happen quite often is that people think the longer I go, the better it is. The reason that is a mistake is what I find is people are like, yeah, you know, I rebound like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, 2-3 times a week, and it's not working. Well, it's because you're treating it more like a cardiovascular workout. So going back to mistake number 1 versus doing it consistently. I know that if you've been on my channel, you hear me talk all the time about consistency is key. When it comes to lymphatic drainage, consistency is key. So I would much rather see, and your lymphatic system would much rather see, you doing a constant, continual, like 5 to 10 minutes every day versus, 3 times a week at 40, 60 minutes a day. That consistency is going to build, and what's going to happen is your body is going to end up giving you better results in the long run. So if you're the person who's like, yeah, I do it like 3 times a week, try cutting down on the time. Do it 5 minutes every day. Heck, you can do it while you're brushing your teeth. Like you can habit stack it. It doesn't take a whole lot of time, or better yet, do it while you're watching TV. But doing it more consistently, I end up seeing people get better results. Mistake number 3. When you're rebounding, you're not breathing. A lot of people end up holding their breath, or they're doing these like quick, shallow breaths as if you were running a marathon. There's a time and a place to do that, like breathing. It is not on the rebounder when you guys are looking to do lymphatic drainage. Remember, breathing is part of what helps move our lymphatic system. Breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, is what is going to help pull the lymphatic fluid from our lower body, so belly button down to our toes, up through the thoracic duct, all the way up to our termini, our left collarbone. So we want to make sure that we are breathing, number 1, and then number 2, which is even better. You're gonna get better results. Diaphragmatic breathing. Practicing diaphragmatic breathing while you're on the rebounder is going to be exponentially more beneficial for your lymphatic system than you going longer. I would rather you do 5 minutes of rebounding and diaphragmatic breathing than 10 minutes of just rebounding. So let's take a look and see, how are you breathing? Are you holding your breath? Are you like labored breathing? Remember, this is slow and gentle. It's rhythmic. It should not be this intense, like I gotta get air in kind of thing. Part of the way that our lymphatic system drains is by being in a parasympathetic state. Remember, parasympathetic, rest, digest, and I'm throwing in drain because our body can't drain if we're stuck in fight or flight. So we gotta take things down and do things slower, shift things over in order for our body to drain the way that we're wanting it to. Mistake number 4. What I see people doing is they're ultimately super rigid on this rebounder. And I know I keep looking down, it's because I'm looking down at my rebounder. What I see happening is people are pushing down into the rebounder with like their ever loving might, and they're just stiff as a board. Remember, we want to be nice and loose. And yes, most of the movement is coming from our legs pushing down or lower body. But if we want the benefits everywhere, we have to have nice, loose body. Ideally, even contracting those muscles. So using your arms, moving your arms in different directions is gonna help with lymphatic drainage. So don't get on a rebounder and ultimately be like a statue and just pushing all of your might down and up and down and up without being relaxed. Remember, relaxed, rhythmic moving is going to get you so much further. And the last one, number 5, what I see happen all the time is people are not clearing their lymph nodes before they get on the rebounder. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, why would I do that? Like, I'm getting on the rebounder, I'm using gravity, I'm contracting my muscles. I get it. But if our lymph nodes are congested, if things are like stuck and stagnant in our lymph nodes, the fluid in the vessels can't move through. It can't move to the next area. Remember, lymph nodes are like a door, lymph vessels are a hallway. We can't get from one area of a house or a convention center to another if we can't get through the door. So let's clear the lymph nodes before getting on the rebounder. Take the 90 seconds. It's only 90 seconds to clear your specific 7, doing each of them 10 times, following up by finishing with your termini, and then get on the rebounder. Now, if you start to implement those things and you're like, gosh, so much better, I'm starting to see results, yay. I'm super excited. I'm thrilled because I know that as we get things moving, our body's just able to function better. And I can say this with 100% certainty based on the thousands of people that I've worked with, but also the comments that I get from all of my social media followings to the people in my academy. When you guys get things moving and find out what works for you, you're gonna see so much better results. Now, here's the thing. Our lymphatic system doesn't just depend upon movement. Movement is huge. We do need to move our body more. But if you do all of those things and you're doing them consistently and you're following everything that I just said and you're like, I'm still not seeing results, like, doc, what the hell? Then I'm going to implore you to look at your hydration, your sleep, your stress, and what is happening throughout the rest of your day. If you are stuck in a state of fight or flight, you're not moving, you're sitting for hours upon hours upon hours at a time, you are dehydrated, yes, of course, your lymphatic system is going to be more congested. And then the last thing is, remember, be patient. If you've had congestion for years and decades, things might not shift in a week or even a month. You may need to give your body a little bit more time than that. But I promise you, consistency is key and you will see results. If you guys like this, make sure to let me know and come back, because the next video, we're gonna do a rebound routine with me. You're gonna do like a 5 to 10 minute rebound routine with me. And don't worry, if you don't have a rebounder, I will show you the video after what you can do instead of a rebounder. So stay tuned, because the next 2 videos coming out are gonna be all about rebounding, either with or without a rebounder. So if you don't have a rebounder, stay tuned for the second video. And if you do have a rebounder, fantastic. Make sure you have it and do it along with me, because 1, it's a whole lot more fun, and 2, I think it really helps doing it while listening and to get the results. Thanks for being here. And as always, happy draining.